Computer graphics. The metaverse is built using graphic techniques that mix the real world with the virtual world. This involves creating 3D scenes, characters, and avatars that look and feel real. Computer graphics refers to technology that generates images on a computer screen. Computer graphics mainly includes modeling, rendering, animation, and human-computer interaction. Modeling deals with the mathematical specification of shape and appearance properties in a way that can be stored on a computer. 3D geometry modeling is the process of developing a mathematical representation of any surface of an object, either an image or living in 3 dimensions. The product is called a 3D model. Then we need to model some light in a scene. In physical world, we observe different types of light sources. For example, a tiny light bulb would be a point light source. It shines light equally in all directions. Sun is an example of a directional light source. A directional light source is the light that is far enough away from that all rays of light are in the same direction. Another type of light source is an area light source that models the typical lighting in the ceiling of an office. And finally, another common example of a light source is an environment light source, where a good example in the physical world is a sky. Once we defined light sources and this in geometry, we need to be able to model how light interacts with geometry to obtain diverse surface appearances. We will look into this in more detail in the following lectures of this module. Finally, to form an image, we must have someone or something that is viewing virtual or physical scene, and we need to specify different properties associated with a view, such for example as a view direction. In this example, we can see two people observing the same scene geometry, and depending where they are standing, they see the scene differently. Or for example, we might want to define a camera field of view. In this example, we can see different images obtained due to varying camera field of view. Formally, field of view is the open, observable area a person can see through their eyes or via an optical device, such as a camera. Rendering is another major area of the computer graphics. 3D rendering is the process of producing an image based on 3-dimensional data stored on a computer. Rendering can take from seconds to even days for a single image or frame. There are two major types of rendering in 3D, which are real-time and offline. And of course, one difference between them is the speed at which the images are calculated and processed. But another is the underlying algorithms. In real-time rendering, most common in video games or interactive graphics, the 3D images are calculated at very high speed so that it looks like the scenes, which consist of multitudes of images, occur in real time when users interact with an application. Offline rendering allows to achieve more realistic scene appearance and is typically physically spaced. It is more often used in movies. Animation is the third major area of computer graphics. Animation is a technique to create an illusion of motion through a sequence of images. Animation uses modeling and rendering, but adds the key issue of movement over time, which is not usually dealt in basic modeling and rendering. Computer animation can be divided in two categories: real-time and frame-by-frame. Real-time animation achieves the animation effect by modifying the pixel points on a frame. In frame-by-frame animation, each frame is a complete picture. Human-computer interaction (HCR) is research in the design and the use of computer technology, which focuses on the interaction between people, users, and computers.